beautiful as well. Okay, we have been preparing for this physically to put men together this year, but because of the situation all over the world, it has turned out this way. So this is another dimension to it. So you are very much welcome. My name is Benson Adema. Like you know, I'm a motivational speaker, a teacher, author, coach, and a counselor. As a motivational speaker, I focus on personal development, peak performance, management consulting, and life coaching. Our Success Bred seminar is organized by Kai High Motivational. Kai High Motivational is a human capital development organization. This organization is committed to helping youth of different class with practical ideas and informations that they could use immediately to get better results. You see, one of the things that we have come to discover and has become a burden on us is that the level of motivation in this part of the world is very low. We have also discovered that it was the spirit of motivation that was injected into the Americans that make them believe they are the best in the world and they are living to that standard. That is why we centered our crusade on the need for youth to be motivated, to get Nigerian youth to be highly motivated, and African at large to get us to believe that we are the best in the world. Until we come to that level, we might not take the lead as the world is expected of us as Africans or as Nigerians. So this is a burden on us. And at Success Bred, I don't do this alone. We have a team of young men who will run this together. About 6 of us always put our head together on what to do next and how to go about it. That might not want me to mention their name online here, but I can't help it. We have some great people like Moses Adeniji. We have someone like Israel Cosmos. We have someone like John Ipu. We have someone like Princess Abamba, and we have someone like John Ida, and then Lady Femi Onogorua is another important person in our team. Also, we have some people who are genuinely committed to sponsor our programs. So these people, we have an organization like Foliem International or Foliem Limited. Foliem is into a computer accessory and other modern devices like counting machines and so on. It's located somewhere at the heart of Ikeja. And we also have Agbenda Media, which is into indoor and outdoor advertising. They are very, very proficient in what they do. Their office is located somewhere at the heart of Ikeja too. And we also have a Puzzle Health and Beauty. It's another important organization that has been sponsoring us over the years. The office is located somewhere at Oregu, Ikeja. And then we have a Roden Healthcare Limited, which is into health insurance, popularly known as HMO. Their office is located somewhere in Yaba. These people have been very, very wonderful and consistent in assisting us in all our activities. We say a big thank you to them. If you check our flyers up there or down anywhere, you can locate our flyers on our wall. You could see locate their business logo. You could also check them out online and so on. You definitely are going to locate them. So, without taking much time again, I want to say Sorry to people all over the world who have lost their loved ones as a result of pandemic. It has been very sad and heartbroken what has been happening all over the world. But the rest of us who are still alive now, we need to take care of ourselves to be able to live to tell the story. So, in my word of encouragement, I just want to say that no situation is final and no condition is permanent. Though you might be hungry as I am, but we all shall get out of this pandemic situation. So keep hope alive. Don't lose contact with the control tower. Today, by the special grace of God, supposed to be the 7th edition of Success Breast Seminar. And it's happening on Facebook. This has given us another dimension that in the next few years, we shall be having it both physically and also we shall be transmitting it online, live and direct to our viewers all over the world. So thank you so much, our dear audience, our friends, those of you who see our posts, you see our videos, you give comment, you give observations and so on. We appreciate you. All your comments are a huge source of motivation to us. So once again, I say we love you as you do love us, and more also today happened to be my birthday. So I'm highly excited. I believe you'll contact excitement as we move on. So before I move on quickly, Barrister Joshua Alobo is going to be joining us tomorrow this time as well. Barrister Joshua Alobo is an important figure, a lawyer for that matter, a principal consultant at Joshua Alobo & Co. and is a former banker with Zenith Bank Nigerian PLC. He has been a political analyst. He has appeared on several international televisions like Channel TVs, like NTA, AIT, and so on. So he's someone you don't want to lose contact with tomorrow. He's a motivational speaker and highly intellectual. So this morning, I'll be sharing with you on what we put together as the principle of deliberate effort. What did I call it? Principle of deliberate effort. If you look at my comment there, I put the link there to where you can have access to that article on our blog. Why I share with you. Why you need to listen to me this morning is because I'm going to be sharing with you practical life experience. This principle of deliberate effort can also be called the principle of committed decision. Principle of committed decision. So, if you come down again, I call this principle my 13 best kept secret. So, this secret is as though I learn one every year in my journey. I'm exactly 13 years and 4 months in Lagos today. I came to this city in January 7, 2007. And I came into this city with my secondary school certificate. I was born and brought up in one of the worst slums in this country to a parents who are both peasant farmers. When I say peasant farmers, I talk about the farmers who could barely feed their family, let alone have enough to sell. So, in my early age, I live in a first-class abject poverty. So, I live a life whereby in my secondary school days, I will wake up in the morning, go to farm, plant groundnut or harvest cassava before I will come back home to bath and go to school. Around 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning, when about 2 to 3 lessons would have been delivered in school. Most time, I'm almost the last person to pay my school fees. Most time the principal would have beaten a hell out of me and sent me out of school before I would be able to raise my school fees. Most time I cried myself to bed because there is an insufficient resources to accomplish a pressing need. Most time I soak garri, a cassava powder, 3 times in a day. In fact, I remember a particular incident where there is no really garri at home, so there is a type of garri they call cocoa, those waste part of garri that they have filtered to throw away. Because there is nothing else to eat, we collect that garri, we put it, I'm still talking of cassava powder for those of us who are not familiar with Nigerian language. I have to soak it in the water, keep it under the bed, and first of all go to the playground and play football like 2-3 hours later, when that cocoa would have soaked very well, then I will return and enjoy myself. So it has been an abject situation. I also remember one afternoon where we don't have food in our house. It was so bad that one of my stepsisters, who was preparing to cook rice that afternoon, when I talk about rice, it's not the rice that you buy in the market today. It is maize rice. It's a local rice that is not blended on the engine, but it is rather prepared by pounding. So almost every member of our house were waiting to enjoy that by 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So it means everybody will go into compulsory fasting in waiting for that. So if I say I should tell you my story, time will not be enough. So to drive home this story, like I mentioned earlier, I started my public speaking business by sharing other people's story. But up till now, after 13 years in this city, I have come to discover that we are becoming an inspirational compass to many young people across the world. So I decided to compile my story. So around 12 a.m. this morning, I dropped the details of my story on my Facebook, on the Facebook page where you are watching me from. If you go there, you see a writing that is titled Adventure of Benson Adima. So that will give you a full detail of that story. Please read, comment, leave your observations. They will help us to grow. So, without boring you so much more of what happened in the village, let me say something very quickly before I move on. One day, if the network is flowing very fine, please say you can hear me clearly so that I know that you are on. All right? So just make a comment clear. Let me be sure we are on the same page. So one evening or one afternoon, I was chatting with one of my king's brother. We were under an orange tree, and I said to him, regardless of my present situation, I will go to the city of Lagos. I will go to one of the best universities there, and I will stay and live in the city of Lagos. That my brother looked at me and he hissed. He said, and he went. For those of you who are close to me, they will know the guy's name. His name is, we popularly call him Fancy. He hissed at me and went. Guess what? About 4 years ago, that same young man traveled to this city of Lagos. And when he saw me, he was amazed what he saw. Brethren, let me take you. I'm going somewhere. Please don't go away. Stay with me. I know your data is running. Listen to this. When I came to Lagos, early 2017, I started life as a houseboy. It is called housekeeper, but in Nigerian language, we call it houseboy. I started as a houseboy where I do both domestic work at home and I also use wheelbarrow to fetch water at the site for people to mold block for the man who was my boss at that time. Before that time, I had a hydrotherapy operation, that is a surgery operation, 3 months before I traveled to Lagos. When I told the man that I had a surgery operation, I don't have a lot of energy to do that work. Do you know what he said? He said, who cares whether you have surgery operation or whether you are dying? So, I stayed in that house as a housekeeper for 1 year and 6 months. And then I made a mistake. You know, I can be very ambitious. So one day, everybody was out of the house. So I took the car key and I drove the car that belonged to the son of the man. And very unfortunately, someone who is training himself how to drive car, I broke the windscreen of the vehicle. So they got angry when they returned later and they threw me out of the house. Do you know when they threw me out of that house? 11 p.m. in the night. Seemingly, I don't have anywhere to go. But thank God for my brother, who brought me to the city at that time, was living somewhere in a nearby. So, in that middle of the night, I went and stayed with him. That has been the beginning of my journey. I started work with insurance company. I failed woefully. And that time I've already started my national diploma program. So the burden of how to pay my school fees is already on my neck. But do you know what? That insurance business or company I started work with that time gave me a perspective. It exposed me. It break away the cocoon that was in me. It break away my low self-esteem. Because as an insurance marketer, you'll be opening doors of people you never meet before. And one of the core principles of success in insurance business is ability to speak. So that helps my speaking ability. I'm going somewhere. So that we will not lose sight of where I'm going. We are talking about the principle of deliberate effort. I have at the back of my mind that whatever it will cost, I will become someone meaningful. So when I go to this city, it's not about the fact that I am becoming a housekeeper somewhere. It's about the hidden goal that is inside of me. So everything that was happening were happening to my outward man. My inner man is being highly motivated. So 13 years after that time, I have become a better man. In a few minutes from now, I will share with you how come or how far we have come. But let me take you a bit briefly into the Christian Bible to give you an example of the principle of deliberate effort. The principle of deliberate effort. This principle, the rich people have practiced this principle and they have rewarded with greatness. Some people practice this principle. When it was about to get to the peak of it, they gave up and then they were rewarded with average. Some people tried this principle lessly and they were rewarded with poverty for the rest of their life. So, principle of deliberate effort says that if you engage in a particular business, work, or activities for a period of 13 years. That at the end of the 13 years, you will be rewarded with success. The principle of deliberate effort says that after I make a committed decision to do something, I will lose my sleep for that thing. I will attach my emotion into that thing. I will attach my love into that thing. I will put all my energy, my terror, my desire, all my effort. I will forget about every other thing for that single thing alone for the period of 13 years. And on or by 13 years, I will be rewarded with success. That is what is called the principle of deliberate effort. So, principle of deliberate effort says, if I need to move, or if I must move from where I am now to the next level of success, I need to think of the price that I need to pay along the way. Because in life, nothing good comes on a silver platter. For every price, there is a price to be paid. So the principle of deliberate effort emphasizes no price, no gain. So, talking about the principle of deliberate effort, a biblical example is about David in the Bible. David was 17 years old when he was anointed to become the king of Israel. But after he was anointed, do you know, until 13 years later, he did not ascend the throne. During that period, what was happening to him? He was running from cave to cave. He has to face Goliath. He was banished by King Saul. He has to fight different battles. On the battlefield, he was suffering hunger. He was suffering rejection. He was suffering deprivation. Even his brothers were making mockery of him, but he endured all of them. At the end of 13 years, the principle of deliberate effort were fulfilled in his life, and eventually David ascended the throne. So between the time of David anointing and the time that he eventually ascended the throne is exactly a period of 13 years. So the principle of deliberate effort have a place in the Bible. This pattern continue in the corporate world, and this pattern continue even in government. So a second example was example of Joseph. The Bible says when Joseph was a young man, he had a dream in which his father, his mother, his brother, all of them bowed down to him. So his brothers hated him for this. And what did they do? They got angry and they sold him into what? They threw him into the pit. They took him out of the pit and they sold him as a slave. And he was later thrown into the prison. It was 13 years between his dream and the time he left the prison to become a prime minister in Egypt. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. So the principle of deliberate effort says, when you are thinking of how to move from your current level of life, you should think of the price you have to pay to get there. Like I said earlier, this principle emphasizes no price, no gain. So before I leave the biblical example, if you go to somewhere in the Bible book of Psalm 105, you could write it down. Psalm 105 in verse 19. Do you know what the Bible said? It said, until the time came to fulfill his dream, the Lord tested Joseph. So, the principle of deliberate effort emphasizes that every prospective great man must be ready to face his Goliath, his banishment, his desert experience for 13 years before his breakthrough. So, if you take us out of the Bible into the contemporary world, there is a music band called Destiny Child in United States of America. It was organized by Beyoncé Knowles and her music crew. For this crew fought for years in difficulties, in setbacks, and in failures. After 13 years, Destiny Child hit stardom and he became one of the foremost musicians in the world today. Now, let me take you to another example. Somewhere in UK, there is a lady called J.K. Rowling, the #1 billionaire author all over the world. She was the first author that sold her book for billions of dollars, of billion pounds. Guess what happened to her? Her historic breakthrough took place 13 years after her first book was published. Let me take you to a related example. Almost all of us know Robert Kiyosaki. His popular rotary book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He wrote that book 13 years after he started his financial education company. So the principle of deliberate effort have effect in the Bible, in the corporate world, and in our contemporary society. Let me give you an example in Nigeria. Most time people say, why do I give example outside the country? Sometimes I like to go wider. I've taken example from the Bible, taken example from US, and I've taken example from Europe or UK. Let me give you an example in Nigeria. Access Bank PLC was licensed in 1987. 13 years later, a new management team that positively changed the story of that bank was injected. That bank later acquired Marina Bank. It later acquired the Capital Omni Finance. It later acquired Finbank of Burundi. It later acquired Intercontinental Bank. And it later acquired Kenyan Transactional Bank. And lately, Access Bank has acquired Diamond Bank. 13 years after they took their license, they changed the management. So, the principle of deliberate effort says, if you get into a business or a work for a period of 13 years and you are deliberate, giving all your best into that thing, at the end of 13 years, the mother luck must smile on you. Or when you get to that 13 years and you have seen some strategic changes and you re-strategize. Let me say this very quickly. One of the greatest assets of the 21st century leadership is creativity. Creativity is not that I have experience about what Mr. A is doing, so let me duplicate. Creativity talks about the fact that I have meditated on this for a while, and this is the inspiration I have gotten to do things differently from the way other people are doing it. So, at the end of 13 years, Access Bank re-strategized. And today, guess what? Access Bank has become almost the foremost or #1 bank in Nigeria. Have almost the largest branches, if not more than First Bank of Nigerian PLC. Let's move on from there very quickly. And I want you to listen to this very, very critically. If you have been involved in any business, research or academic work for a period of 13 years and you have not had a breakthrough, look at my advice. You have to quit that business. other project, or you have to consider re-strategize or venturing into something else. I've said three things there. You quit, you either quit, you venture into something else, or you re-strategize. When Destiny Child was not working, they reduced the number from the 6 people that started to 3. Today, Beyonce now is the leader of that group. So you need to take a clue from that. Hold on there. Don't go away. I'm going somewhere. So the principle of deliberate effort says, a principle of deliberate effort require a total commitment. Your spirit, your body, your soul, your tenacity, and your sagacity, your emotion, and your love to achieve a desired result. Listen to what Destiny said. He said, I have never loved any woman more than Mickey Mouse. He talks about his business. A man who will succeed in the business world or his career will have to love his career or that business more than any other thing he ever come in contact with. Any business that is going to be successful may require some degree of the emotional attachment of the owner of that business. Take note of that. Why I drive it. I've mentioned earlier to you that I came into this city about 13 years ago. And at the end of the 13 years, what has happened to me? Today, I could categorically say that I am a graduate of University of Lagos, one of the foremost universities in the country. I also hold certificate, I also hold national diploma from Olabisi Onabanjo University. I hold leadership from Daystar at Christian Center, a certificate in leadership training. I hold a certificate in computer training from IZTech Computer Institute. I have diploma in theology from the Redeemer School of Disciples. I have certificate in digital marketing. I also have several other training across this city. Guess what today, by the special grace of God? I work in the microfinance or banking sector where I work as a team lead in my unit. These were not possible 13 years ago. Today, I have authored a very inspirational book, Awaken the Champion in You, Unleashing the Winner in You. The book is on and helping people all over the world. It's a great achievement. I consider that a story that is worth sharing with you. 13 years of a journey from zero before decimal point to where we are today. We are still counting. We are just at the middle of the journey. My Christian Bible will always say that the eyes have not seen, ear have not heard, neither has it entered the heart of man what God has prepared for those who loved him and are called according to his name. I'm not here to bore you with scripture, but we are going to somewhere very importantly. Now you are asking me a question. What are the 13 success secrets that I have kept over these 13 years? What are these secrets that has helped me in the middle of the waters? What are these secrets that kept me going even when the going get tough? Remember, a wise man once said that when the going get tough, the tough will get going. So I call this 13th principle the simulation, because in the beginning of my public speaking, I was sharing the story of people who motivated me. But today, I have become an inspirational compass. So I decide to compile my story. So one of the things that has kept me going is number 1, personal development. I will not be able to write now so that my camera will be straight. But you could write. Or if Moses is still hanging, Moses could help us to highlight them so that everyone could be able to follow and get. Number 1, personal development. Personal development is one of the key principles, and this is my area of motivation. Personal development talks about the fact that if I am going to be better tomorrow than I am today, I have to put something into myself. And there's something called formal education and informal education. So personal development talks more about informal education, because one of the things we discovered in life is that those who teach you right thing can also teach you wrong thing. But when you teach yourself through informal education, you can never be wrong. So one of my foremost principles, or one of the principles or the secret of my 13 years of this journey, is personal development. I read books as though tomorrow will not come. And I also listen to inspirational messages. So today when I open my mouth, some wisdom come out freely, because I have them up here. So if you wake me up in the middle of the night and say something, I will be able to say something without thinking twice. It is the power of personal development. When I came into Lagos then, one of the names I named myself was Araoko in Yoruba language. Araoko means area boy or village boy, okay? Means village boy. Ordinarily, I would fight with anybody that called me that name, but they were stating the obvious. I stayed with my parents for a period of 21 good years before I left them. So when I got to the city, I was behaving abnormally. So I named myself that name. But today, people call me genius. Some call me wise man. Some call me smart guy. Some even call me intellectual. In fact, some even make a mistake of calling me Ajebota. So all this, we came this far through personal development. So the wise man once said, study as if you will live forever, and live as if you are going to die tomorrow. This is my foremost principle. This is one of my secrets. The secret number 2 is self-motivation. Self-motivation. I always say this, like fuel that power a car, motivation power your soul for better performance. And when your motivation run dry, come and call me. I will come and give them to you. So, self-motivation reduces the scope of supervision. And we have come to discover the importance of motivation in human development and social advancement. That is why we centered our crusade on the need for people to be motivated. Because a highly motivated labor force does not need supervision to do a right job. That is why when I was teaching at Norwood International College Ikeja, they were paying me 10,000 naira as my salary, while my other colleagues were collecting 30 to 50,000 naira. But I won the best teacher of the year. When I got to Omole Grammar School as a student teacher, I won the best student teacher of the year. When I went to Songo, a secondary school at Aige Pen Cinema, I won the best student teacher of the year. When I went to Atlas Model College, somewhere in Aige again, I was teaching there. They were paying me 15,000 naira minus 500 naira as a task. They pay me 14,500. I taught there for 2 good years. I won the best teacher of the year. I will leave my house as early as possible, 7 a.m. to make sure I get to the school. I was a volunteer press club coordinator in that school. Not because they were paying me enough, but as a personal commitment. After I left that school, I still have many of the students from that school becoming my friends today. So it is about the motivation from the inside to do something. So when a man is highly motivated, he can do his job without being pushed and pulled. But there is a problem today. What it is? Many young people in our society want to be pushed and pulled like a wheelbarrow to get their job done. You need to change from that way of life. Listen to this. A man will remain the way he is today in the next 5 years, except for 2 things: the kind of friends he keeps and the kind of books he reads, like what I have mentioned earlier. So through reading, I have come to internalize that I need to do my job without being called to do it. That is how I believe a man can live his life. So, my brother, keep going and motivate yourself. There is a lady called Damilola Abegunde. I met her when I was in that house as a houseboy. At the age of 17, Damilola was already processing her admission to university. But at that time, I was at the age of 20 plus with no hope of going to university. In fact, the hope of going to university for me was almost a mirage. But today, if you call Damilola and put me and her side by side, she will respect the proficiency of what is in my head today. This I do and achieve through personal development. Principle number 3, make God your senior partner. Listen to this. If God is all you have, then God is all you need. But many people thought they could navigate through life without God. And when they are caught in the whirlwind of life, they learn the hard way to make God their senior partner. If you make God your senior partner, he will make you his junior partner. Get this straight. If you make God your senior partner, he will make you his junior partner. And that will save you a lot of trouble. So, you need God in every situation and every decision of your life. Listen to this once again. Do you know when a creator runs faster than his creator, he runs into premature death? That is the story of many young people today. Many of them think they don't need God. But they got to the point where they are stranded and they want to turn God to a quick master where they can say, Baba God, come at the moment. At those times, most times, it's too late for many people. God is very important. In a related development, the point number 4, you need to fast and pray in the Holy Ghost. I'm sounding like a preacher now. But for those of us who are Christian, you need to learn this very quickly. Your ability to pray in the Holy Ghost will give you an edge above your contemporary. So, when you hear people pray, they are not crazy. They are speaking at a higher frequency in a language that cannot be decoded by ordinary ear. It gives them an edge. Thank God I do this a lot. Probably that is why I get to hear God in about a lot of situations. But guess what happened to me? 2 years ago, I make a decision to invest without telling God. Do you know what happened? I lost the whole investment 3 months later. It was a borrow capital, about 300,000 naira. I borrowed 100,000 from one friend. I borrowed 70,000 from another friend. I raised the remaining capital through savings and a little loan I have from the place of work. I add them together and invested. I was asking God, but I was not waiting for him to respond before I move on and invest. 3 months later, do you know what happened? The whole of that money go and it went. I'm still paying the price of that decision till today. That incident threw me into a second nervous breakdown. You know, I told you in my story there. For those of you who have read of my story, I suffered a nervous breakdown at a very young age through a broken relationship when I was in secondary school, at SS1 for that matter. So I suffered a second one through a lost investment. So when you involve God, it will save you a lot of disaster. Stay with me while I mention principle number 5. Stay in a supportive environment. Principle number 5. Stay in a supportive environment. Anyone that is following, please list those principles. A principle number 1, personal development. Number 2, self-motivation. Number 3, make God your senior partner. Number 4, fast and pray in the Holy Ghost. Number 5, stay in a supportive environment. Listen to this. The town in which you live and the house in which you reside, the place of worship you attend, may not determine the size of your dream, but they can influence the rate of the maturity of your dream seed. So don't take your place of residence for granted. I have chosen to stay in an expensive environment because I understand that not all environments support progression. I am not crazy. I may not say everybody must stay in a supportive environment, but when you stay in a supportive environment, you have a lot of challenges and motivation that help to speed up your growth. That is what I have learned. And this principle is very important to me. In fact, if I write a whole book, it might not be sufficient for me to explain the importance of this principle. So this principle is my second best kept secret. Keep it somewhere. Stay in a supportive environment. Number 6, sacrifice. Sacrifice is like a link, a bridge, and a ladder. I've talked a bit about that you must brace up to endure those dark moments of your life, and then those painful experiences occasioned by abject poverty, those painful detours, and those life-threatening occurrences. You must be ready to endure them. And it is during one or some of these my journey I have learned a very inspirational question. And guess what that question is? Why is it darkest when it's about to be done? Why is it darkest when it's about to be done? Probably you may have answer to that question. You can pop the answer here, or after you go to the link I share with you there on the blog, you can leave an answer to that question. Anybody that give an accurate answer to that question won himself a 1000 or 2 gig of data on any of his network. Number 7. Thank you for being there. Number 7. This principle is called the principle of possibility calculus. Principle of possibility calculus. This principle is my topmost kept secret. I'm not going to say anything about it now. It's most valuable to me. So I will talk about it in our next seminar, or when we organize a seminar to talk about it. Number 8, honesty. 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 I learned this principle the hard way. Yes. But this principle has come to give me identity today. So if I tell you that I'm going to call you by 11 a.m., I will do everything to make sure I call you by 11 a.m. Honesty. This principle gave me a job when I was least expected. This principle has earned me trust by my senior partners and senior colleagues. This principle give me confidence. It give me identity. And this principle had made me not to remember what I have said. So if I have said something to you yesterday, because I am honest, I don't need to remember what I said to you, because definitely I'm going to keep to what I said, and I will remember exactly what I said. This principle have made it easy. It has simplified my life. But guess what? I'm working in a microfinance or banking sector for the past 3 years. I have come to discover that the principle of honesty is very, very key. You needed to trust young people with some money before you know how ridiculous they can behave. A lot of questions of lack of honesty is hung on the neck of many young people today. But because I have learned my own the hard way, anywhere I find myself now, I will not break that theory of honesty. If I tell you this thing is A, it got to be A. If I tell you it is black, it got to be black. If I tell you it's white, it got to be white. Get it straight. The people who are honest, the corporate world is still in high demand for honest people, especially financial sector is in demand, high demand for people who are honest. This principle has always been there before I was born, and it will never lose its value. If you are not honest, your lack of honesty will catch up with you one day. And if you don't repent, guess what? When they catch up with you, you have yourself to blame. So what did I say? Honest people will always remain hot cake in the corporate world and anywhere forever. So keep to the subject of honesty. It's very key. And then the principle number 9, choose your friends wisely. My Togolese friends once said that it's better to be a lonely lion than to be a popular goat. My mentor will always say that if you stay long enough with a he-goat, you will smell like one. Listen to this. A day with a wise man is better than 10 years of formal education. I mentioned to you earlier, a man will remain the way he is today in the next 5 years, except for 2 things: the book he reads and the friends he keeps. You need to de-associate yourself, or you need to detoxify yourself from toxic friends. I don't know if they are bad friends or not, but I know they are toxic friends. Friends who complain about themselves, about their family, about the government, about their work. A friends who are bitter. A friends who their school of business is the school of alibis. A friend who can fabricate excuse heaven and earth. You don't need those kinds of friends. You need to go away from that kind of a friend. So, you need to have a friend who like what you do, and when you go wrong, that friend will look at you eyeball to eyeball and say, young man, you have gone bad, come back here. That is the kind of friend who you should have. I have a lady friend like that in my workplace, though she didn't stay long. But one day I asked her to write a short note about me, and she wrote something I will never forget for the rest of my life. She told me the bitter truth that I have always don't want to hear, but that has influenced my life a great deal. My brother, you need to have a good friend. It's better to be in the midst. It's better to be, okay, this is my own principle now. This is how I live my life. It's better to be the least in the midst of wise men than to be a king of fools. Hear it again. It's better to be the least in the midst of wise men than to be a king of fools. That is why in the church where I attend, in my Sunday school department, I am almost the least among them. Almost all my colleague teachers are captains of industry, senior managing directors, MD CEOs. What I gain from them, it is not about looking to their pocket to get anything. What I have gained from their wealth of experience cannot be overemphasized. So if you see me in the corporate world, I make friends with everybody, but there are friends out of friends who I listen to give me one idea or the other. Any environment I could not find those kind of friends, then it's better I stay off. My friend, you need to do something about your life. Principle number 10. Do more than you are paid to do. Do more than you are paid to do. There is a problem with many young men today. They find it difficult to work beyond what they were paid to do. Many young people want to compartmentalize their life. They want to work lazily in their employer's work and then reserve the energy to go and do their own work, but only for them to discover that they cannot even do their own work. So you cannot rob Peter to pay Paul. In fact, if you are a type that rob your employer, if you don't repent, the principle of karma said that your employer too will rob you. And when your employer will pay you back, they will pay you back on a larger scale. In fact, they will run you out of business. So you need to wake up from working lazily on your employer's level. Put in your best. I have given you several examples of myself in Norwood College, Atlas Model College, and also Agidingbi Grammar School. How I put in my best, not because of what I will be paid. So how much more when I find myself in a better job? I will put in my best. Listen to this. The first 2 weeks of this lockdown, I was doing my own company work. It is a work that I can say, well, let me put it aside when we resume my started, but I don't have to do so. I need to be ahead. Do more than you are paid to do. As a young person, this should be of paramount in your mind. Don't put it tomorrow. What should be done today? I hear many young people say, oh, I can't come and kill myself. That principle is for fools. Yes, I said it. Don't be angry. You should not say, if I cannot come and kill myself. Instead, say, if I need to kill myself to get the job done, I will kill myself. Yes. Esther said, I will go to the king. If I perish, I perish. That should be the principle of a young man, not the other way around. Principle number 11. You need to discipline yourself with food, with sleep, and opposite sex. I remember Bill Gates was preparing for a presentation that gave him his Microsoft breakthrough. He sat in front of computer 3 days, 3 nights. He did not sleep. But many young people today, some of them have traded their destiny and the destiny of their children for sleep. Some of them have sleep away the destiny of their children. Listen to what the Bible says somewhere in the book of 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 19. He said the woman killed her own child because she overslept and she slept on top of the baby and the baby died. Go to the Acts of the Apostles, those of us who are Christians. Somewhere in the book of Acts of the Apostles chapter 20 verse 9. The Bible says a young man called Eucatus. Maybe I didn't get the name very well. A young man was listening to Apostle Paul. And he sat on the window. The Bible says he was sink into a deep sleep. And what happened to them? He fell from the window. As a young man, if you are attending a meeting and you are feeling sleeping, stand up. Don't wait for somebody to come and stand you up before you stand by yourself. It means taking responsibility. Thank God for Apostle Paul, who was able to pray and revive him. That would have been the end of that young man. Many young people have slept away their destiny. A recent study in United States of America, in an average lifetime of 78 years, people spend 25 years sleeping. Can you hear that? 25 years sleeping. It will not do us any good. I remember sometimes ago I was editing my first book, reading and reading it. I started 8 p.m. that evening. I was in front of computer till 6 a.m. in the morning. I don't even know that I have spent about 10 hours in front of my computer. It was a friend who was going to work by 6 a.m. in the morning that called me. He said, good morning, how are you doing? I said, why are you calling me in the middle of the night? She said, no, that she's already on the way to work, that is 6 a.m. That was when I grabbed my phone. I said, whoa, 6 a.m.? Let me say this, I'm not trying to be boastful. Since this lockdown, I have never slept in the afternoon up to 5 days. Ask me, what am I doing? I'm putting something up here. If I don't need it today, I will need it tomorrow. Young people, let's stand up. We can't afford to remain average forever. There got to be more to our lives than what it is currently. And if that will happen, we need to pay some price of cutting away some level of sleep. Thank you for being there. I'll be drawing the curtain in the next few minutes. Let me mention the principle number. Okay, this principle number 11 talk about discipline with food, sleep, and opposite sex. Example of a young man who ruined his life through an opposite sex was Reuben. A young man who went as far as sleeping with his father's concubine, Bilhah. What happened to him? His father cursed him. So you need, as a matter of fact, young man, to cut down with opposite sex. Sexual immorality, you need to cut down. When a man and his wife have sex, it serves as a catalyst for achieving success. Sex between husband and wife can become a great motivation. The same way, sex between two unmarried people can become a catalyst for destruction. A young man once said he has had sex with more than 1,000 people. Then nobody was able to give them any award for that. Guess what? Where is he going with it? Anyway, let me not bore you too much with this principle any longer. But try as much as possible to discipline yourself with food, sleep, and opposite sex. The Bible told us that Esau traded his birthright for what to eat. He gave it to his brother. What is a birthright for me? Take it and give me food. But when the time come begging, he cried himself to torpor. But it was too late. May it not be too late for you in the name of God. Point number 12. One of my best kept secret. The point number 12 is get a mentor, get a coach, and get advisor. Get a mentor, get a coach, and get advisor. Many people emphasize the subject of mentorship alone. It doesn't have to be mentorship alone. It has to be mentorship, it has to be coaching, and it also has to be what? Be advisor. I have a motivational speaker, my mentor. I call him, he's both my mentor and my coach. Success Olorodami. I will never forget that man in life. He's an intellectual as far as public speaking is concerned. He's the man who has groomed me up to leave material and bury them in my head so that they become my own. Oh my God. Success Olorodami, God will bless you wherever you are. I have senior mentors, distance mentors, distance coach, and advisors, and so on. So you need that. A mentor will save you from danger or from obvious failure. A coach will help you to make wise decisions and rational adjustment. An advisor will guide you against an odd so that you will not cross your path unnecessarily. So these people are very important. Please stay with me, don't go away. In this, listen to my favorite nugget. This is my first inspiration or inspirational nugget in public speaking. If you allow the life of those who know more than you to serve as an inspiration to you, one day your aspiration will serve as inspiration to others. If you allow the life of those who know more than you to serve as inspiration to you, one day your aspiration will serve as inspiration to others. That is what is happening to me today. So you need a mentor, advisor, and coach. Number 13, the power of positive thinking. This is a practical guide to mastering the problem of everyday living. This book was written in 1952 by Norman Vincent Peale. This book proves some case history of positive thinking, and practical instruction were designed to help readers to achieve a permanent optimistic attitude. This book influenced me greatly. In fact, this book has altered my attitude for good. It helps me to see the positive in every situation. That is why I find it difficult to murmur, because this book has taught me to see the good in every ugly. So listen to this, my friend. If you could find a reason why a thing cannot be done, you can also find a reason why it can be done. But there is a problem today. What it is, many young people have engaged themselves in fabricating excuses But you know what? If you are weak enough to use one excuse, the devil will give you two more. If you are able to use those two, the devil will multiply them in your hand. So you become an excuse giver for the rest of your life. That is what is happening to many young people. So my dear, don't be too weak enough to use an excuse thrown to you by the devil. The more you continue to complain, the higher you become a master. Before you know, you have a certificate in alibis. In fact, some people have gone into the level of fabricating excuses. Oh, I don't have anybody to sponsor me in school. Oh, because my father is dead when I'm young. Oh, my father uncle who's supposed to send me to school has embezzled all my father's money. He has refused. Oh my God. Young people, listen to this. Stop living your life as though people owe you anything. The life we live is not going to give you permission. The Bible says the kingdom of God suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. So you need to take your destiny by force. Some people have complained so much that they have developed a negative mental faculty. So much that they have hate rich people in town. They want to kill all the rich people. Don't be like that. You don't need to kill rich man to become rich. If we kill all the rich men in town, who do we learn from to get better than who we are? Don't be too negative, my friend. I talk about the power of positive thinking. That is my principle number 13. I'm going to give you a bonus principle that I have learned very recently. It is number 14. If you are just joining us, I have attached the link in my comment there that will take you to our blog where you could have access to this inspiration message. And also I'm going to share this video later on. You can come for a rewatch, but for you to have, if you want to have the writing and to share with your friends, it is attached there on the link, either somewhere there or you find it below on my comment. You can take it. And also, very early this morning, around 12 a.m., I've also published what I title The Adventure of Benson Adema. That story gives you a background into what I have passed through as a young man onto this level. I have suffered nervous breakdown for 2 times. I have undergone surgery operation for 3 different occasions. I have been thrown out of the house in this city for 2 different occasions. I rented a house somewhere in Agege. It was taken over by a friend of mine. I have been betrayed by brothers who I trusted so much to give money to cultivate a cassava farm to me on several occasions. I have lost some money in an investment that threw me into a nervous breakdown. I have gone through insurance marketing for 3 different occasions. I failed. I have applied for federal government program 3 different occasions. I failed. I applied for a training to the United States of America under yearly. I failed woefully. I've written several proposals. I failed woefully. When I was at the University of Lagos, I struggled to pay my school fee. I remember a particular day that my exam was to be written on Friday, and by Thursday of that week, my school fee was not ready. I was almost about to be dropped out of the university when an inspiration came. I went into 3 days fasting and prayer. When I returned from that fasting, I was sitting in my house one day on that Thursday when the Friday should be the next day. And a friend of mine from school called me. He said, "Benson, how much have you gotten regarding your school fees?" I told her I have gotten 30,000, remain at 40-something thousand. Whereas I have not gotten 1 naira part of that school fee. And that friend called me that there is so money waiting for me to get and to add to my school fees. I went and get the money. Yet my school fee remained 37,000 naira to complete the school fee. That afternoon it was raining. I was walking in the middle of rain as though nothing is happening. I was walking down to the bank thinking of what to do. But it was about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I was walking to the bank. No money to add to that money in my hand. While I was about to get to the bank, a friend of mine called and said, Benson, where are you? Have you paid your school fees? I said, no, I have not. He said, where am I? I said, I'm in so place. He said I should take bike. And I took bike and went to where she was working. She gave me exactly the balance to my school fees. And I walked back to the University of Lagos, Wema Bank to be precisely. For those of us who know University of Lagos, if you enter the gate, immediately Wema Bank is on the right hand. Immediately I entered the bank. About 3:30 in the afternoon, they closed the gate of the bank. They never allow any other person to enter the bank. I paid my school fees. That incident saved my admission. And guess what? After I was supposed to graduate from that university, I could not graduate for 1 year because a lecturer delayed my project. But eventually, the same God who has been my senior partner came to my aid. And my project was completed. And I eventually convocate. Before my certificate was ready, God has already gave me a better job. Why even some of my colleagues were still battling with their project in the university. All this was not possible through my power. It has been God. When you make God your senior partner, he will make you his junior partner. And a journey with God can save you a lot of trouble. Without taking much of your time any longer, I have been in this city for 13 good years, and I am better today than what I was in the past 13 years. Today, by the special grace of God, I'm speaking to you from a very highbrow area in the city of Lagos. I didn't say this to boast, but I said this to sympathize or to appreciate the goodness of God upon my life. I'm sitting in my parlor speaking to you in a mini flat in this same place that I was thrown out of an abandoned restaurant some years ago. This is what the principle of deliberate effort emphasizes. The principle of deliberate effort says that if you have a goal in your mind, or a business in your mind, or a work in front of you, or academic work in the front of you, and you could lose your sleep, you could sacrifice your comfort, and you could put your emotion, your commitment, your determination into that thing for a period of 13 years. At the end of 13 years, the mother luck will smile on you. This has been the principles that guide my life in these few years. For the sake of those of you who are just joining us, let me run through these principles again. You can also go to the comment there. I put the link that will take you to our blog where you can take this principle. And I call them simulation. You know why I call them simulation? You can take them, emulate them, and practice them, and you can make them part of your life. Number 1 is personal development. Number 2, self-motivation. Number 3, make God your senior partner. Somebody say, I'm too fast. Number 4, pray and fast and pray in the Holy Ghost. Number 5, stay in a supportive environment. Number 6, sacrifice. Number 7, principle of possibility calculus. I will share this principle with you. It's very valuable. We're going to share with you in a seminar in the near future. Honesty. Honesty is one of the principles that has come to give me identity. You need to live this principle. Before I go further to mention principle number 9, I'm speaking to you live and direct from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Benson Adima, a motivational speaker with Kai High Motivational. This is Success Breast Seminar 2020. We have a team of young men that we do this together. Moses Adeniji, Israel Cosmo, John Ipu, John Ida, Princess Abamba, and Lady Femi Onogorua. All these guys are our team that will run this business together. We have other many supporters, someone like Jonah Jackson, who has been a wonderful a friend of our program. We have someone like John Michael, who have also been there. We have people like Linda Adima, who has always been supportive. and many other that I might not be able to mention their name now. And also, before I round up, those of you who are listening to us, we really appreciate you. If you are not there, this broadcasting will not make sense. We also appreciate our sponsors. If you look in our flyers, you see the names of our sponsors there. Please patronize them. We have Foley Limited, we have Agbenda Media, we have Agbenda Media, we have Roden Health Limited, which is into HMO, and we also have Pazzo Health and Beauty. A principle number 10, do more than you are paid to do. Number 11, discipline yourself with food, with opposite sex, and with sleep. Number 12, get mentor, coach, and advisors. Number 13, power of positive thinking. Principle number 14. This is where I will draw the curtain. The principle number 14, that is the bonus, is called the principle of conjecture. The principle of conjecture. Conjecture is spelled CONJECTURE. This principle says you should live your life as though you don't have anything to defend or to prove. This principle was driven from a mathematics principle that is called conjecture. That principle said that you don't need to, either you are able to prove that the answer is true or not, you will have to accept it. That is the principle of conjecture. So, this principle says, live your life as though you don't have anything to prove, you don't have anything to defend, you don't have anything to hide. If you can live that way, then you'll be living a transparent life. And the more you live a transparent life, the more you live a stress-free life. Many lives are burdened with unnecessary stress because they are trying to hide something, to defend something, to prove something to somebody. I have learned this principle more recent than not, and I have beginning to inculcate it into my life. Either you like my face or not, I will do what I want to do. If I go against you and you mention it to me, I will say sorry. If you bottle it, you keep yourself in a sick mood. I will be fine. I've been speaking to you for about 1 hour and 17 seconds now. In 3 minutes, I'll be rounding up. And I'm going to round up. In the word of David Oyedepo, he publicly admonished the youth at the end of 2018 edition of International Youth Alive Convention of Living Faith Worldwide. Guess what he said? He said, it is not what you know that matters, but what you do with what you know. Did you get that? David Oyedepo said, it is not what you know that matters. It is what you do with what you know that matters. So today, I have shared with you my 13 success nugget in my 13 years of the journey from zero before decimal point onto where we are now. Take them, emulate them, or put them into use. They might not propel you the same way they guide me, but if you follow them judiciously, they could take you to a right direction. If I sit here today as an inspiration compass to many young people across the world, I know you can do better. So, it is time to begin to take these daring nuggets and put them into practice in a way that will make you to become a change driver. Thank you for being there. My name remains Benson Adima. I love you like you love me. Today happened to be my birthday. And thank you so much for celebrating my birthday with you by being there, listening to us up to now. We can't love you enough. That is why either we earn money or not, We'll be committed to do this all the days of our life. Until we die with a microphone on our hand, we will not stop motivating the world. Our goal is to make Nigerian and Africa to believe they are the best in the world, because it was the spirit of motivation that was injected into the Americans that made them believe they are the best in the world. Do you know America produces the highest number of motivational speakers all over the world today? Why would they not become the richest nation? The more a man is motivated, the higher his proficiency in what he do. That is why we center our crusade on the need for people to be motivated. Like fuel that power a car, motivation, power your soul for better performance. Thank you. And finally, before I leave you, 11 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be having Barrister Joshua Alobo joining us live and direct from Abuja on this same platform. Barrister Joshua Alobo is a motivational speaker, a principal consultant with Joshua Alobo & Co. He is a barrister, a legal practitioner. He has been a lawyer into a lot of political cases across the country. He has been on several national televisions analyzing and recommending some critical solutions to national problems and issues. He has been on NTA Channel Television, AIT, and the number keep counting. And he has been a former banker with Zenith Bank PLC, and he has been a political analyst. I can call this man a technocrat and a diplomat. He has been a solicitor and a legal advisor to several international education institutes as far as Benin Republic. So you want to listen to him tomorrow, 11 a.m. Whatever happened, we will be on live and direct by 11 a.m. tomorrow to share something with you. Please make it a time with us one more time. And God bless you richly good. Let me share a word of prayer with you. I pray for you through the instrumentality of the word of God. Either the devil like it or not, because you are a child of the Lion of the tribe of Judah, no matter the economy of the world, no matter the economy of the nations, you will eat the best of the land. Because I have never seen a lion eating grass in the desert, so you cannot eat the grass. You will eat the best of the land in the name of God. Go and prosper. DM us. Give us your observation. If there is anything you think we can improve on, help us to improve on them. And the Lord will bless you one more time. Really, really proud of all of you. Thank you for keeping a time with us up to now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have been on for about 1 hour, 23 minutes exactly. This is where we draw the curtain. For those of you who are just coming in, you could see the link there, or the link here, or maybe somewhere down, where I put a comment of the link that will take you to our blog post, where you could have the writing of this speech, and then the video. I'm going to share it on the platform immediately. You could form a watch party with 1 or 2 of your friends who appreciate it. We can't keep longer. We love you. Many people has been there for a very long time. Please, for those of you who are just joining us now, please make it a time with us tomorrow, 11 a.m. We're going to be having another exciting moment with Barrister Joshua Alobo and myself coordinating it live and direct here from capital city or commercial city of Lagos, while Barrister Joshua Alobo will be joining us from the capital city of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Abuja. Thank you. This is where we draw the curtain. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't be more excited than having people loving me this much. Thank you so much. I might not be able to mention your name all. Lady Becky, Rotunde Ogida, John Mike, and then Senior Man Tunde Nubi. God bless you, sir. Well, Bro Martin, many other people, Samson, and so on. Thank you so much. This is where we draw the curtain. If I keep appreciating a lot of people, we have nothing less than 100 people who have come, rejoin and join. Oakley Matthew, good to see you. Thank you all so much. Blessing Clement, thank you so much. Idou Moses Nubi, thank you so much. Well, people like Temperance Ogri, thank you so much. Raji Jonah Jackson, thank you so much. Akodri, thank you so much. Thank you, Benedita. You are a great man. Jonah Jackson, I appreciate you already. Thank you so much. We have Tony Benson. Dear Barrister, you are there, sir. Thank you so much. Well, people like Barnabas, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My screen is giving me a signal that I need to go up now. We have people like okay, Barnabas, I've mentioned you. We have people like Moses. Thank you so much. Lydia Dima, thank you. Thank you. We have Tobares. We have Israel Cosmos. We have what is the name again? Quite get it. Pemilary, and so on. Permit me to draw the curtain here. I won't be able to roll off to appreciate everyone. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is it. Leave your questions. I'll come to the comment, and your question, we use it to begin the section tomorrow. Thank you. Yes. Oh, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. You mean you didn't give us this? Jesus Christ of Nazareth.